All right, let's dive into one of the most watched, most intense, most electrifying rivalries in all of sports. India versus Pakistan at the T20 World Cup. This is a matchup that literally brings entire nations to a standstill. So let's break down why it's so massive. Seriously, forget about your average sports rivalry. When these two teams walk onto a cricket field, it's a global event. We're talking hundreds of millions of people glued to their screens. The pressure is just off the charts. It's a contest that goes way, way beyond the boundary rope. So, what does the story of this rivalry actually look like in the T20 World Cup? Well, the numbers tell a pretty one-sided story. Out of 9 matches, India has come out on top 8 times, with Pakistan winning just once. It's a statistic that has really defined this matchup for more than a decade. So how on earth did India build up this incredible 8-1 record? To understand that, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. You can see the pattern right from the start. In the very first tournament back in 2007, India actually beat Pakistan twice. First in a wild group stage match that ended in a tie and was decided by a bowl-out, which is basically cricket's version of a penalty shootout. And then they did it again in an absolutely nail-biting final, winning by just 5 runs. After that, they just kept rolling with big wins in 2012, 2014, and 2016. But if you had to pick one game that perfectly captures the pure chaos and drama of this rivalry, it has to be Melbourne in 2022. It was an absolute heart-stopper that went down to the very last ball. A match that, I promise you, people will be talking about for generations. And the hero of that match, one man, Virat Kohli. His unbeaten 82 is widely considered one of the greatest T20 innings ever played. He almost single-handedly dragged India back from a position of certain defeat. It was just a masterclass in handling pressure. And you have to understand just how much of a miracle this win was. India was in huge trouble, needing a ridiculous number of runs in the last few overs. It looked impossible. But Kohli just exploded, hitting some of the most clutch sixes you will ever see to seal an unbelievable 4-wicket victory. Now, let's fast forward to the most recent showdown in 2024. India's dominance was on full display again. But this time, it wasn't the batters who won the game, it was the bowlers who pulled off a different kind of miracle. In New York, India pulled off an incredible defense of a very low score. They were all out for just 119 runs. Now, that should be an easy chase, but their bowlers, led by the genius Jasprit Bumrah, were just unplayable. They somehow restricted Pakistan and snatched a 6-run win, proving they can win from literally any situation. Okay, but what about that one win for Pakistan? Well, it wasn't just a win. It was a day of absolute, undeniable perfection, where everything went right. That day came in Dubai in 2021, and Pakistan didn't just win. They rewrote history. They beat India by a staggering 10 wickets. It was their first ever victory against India in any World Cup match, ever. It was just a flawless, emphatic performance from start to finish. And this shows you exactly how they did it. Their opening batters, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam, were just magnificent. They chased down India's score all by themselves without losing a single wicket. An unbeaten partnership to win a World Cup game against your biggest rival, that's the stuff of legends. These huge matchups are so often decided by a moment of individual brilliance. So let's take a closer look at the stars who have really left their mark on this rivalry. For India, it's impossible to look past Virat Kohli's incredible 82 not out in 2022. And for Pakistan, you have that unforgettable, record-breaking partnership between Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan in 2021. These are the kinds of performances that fans will remember forever. And listen, it is not just about the big hitters. You don't win these high-pressure games without a world-class bowling attack. And India's bowlers, like the amazing Jasprit Bumrah, have been so crucial. Their ability to step up when the pressure is at its absolute peak, like we saw in that 2024 thriller, has been a massive part of their success story. So, with all of this incredible history behind us, what can we expect from the next T20 World Cup in 2026? The data actually points to some really interesting possibilities. But before we get into any predictions, there's this really weird, fascinating piece of trivia about the tournament itself, and it adds a whole new layer of drama for the next edition. Get this. In the entire history of the men's T20 World Cup, a team playing in their own country has never, ever won the trophy. Isn't that wild? And with India co-hosting the 2026 tournament, they'll have a chance to finally break that long-standing curse. And speaking of winning the whole thing, this chart kind of puts everything into perspective. It's a pretty exclusive club. Only 6 teams have ever won it. India, England, and the West Indies are at the top with 2 titles each, and Pakistan has 1 championship, which they won back in 2009. So when you put all the pieces together, the argument for India being a favorite in 2026 is pretty compelling. You've got the historical dominance over their rival, they're in great recent form, they have a deep squad with incredible talent, and they'll have that home field advantage. On paper, the data definitely leans their way. But, and this is the big question, isn't it? The stats, the history, the form guide, it all points in one direction. But as that incredible day in 2021 showed us, in a rivalry this huge, this intense, anything can happen. Nothing is ever guaranteed. And you know what? That's exactly what makes this the greatest show in cricket.